Hello everyone. Do you know how is parafunction different from function? This video is exactly about that. Of course you know what function is. It is chewing, swallowing and speaking. And of course you know what parafunction is. It is clenching, grinding, nail biting, lip sucking, thumb sucking, cheek sucking, or holding objects like pencils or pins between your teeth, or biting on a mouthpiece, and also playing some musical instruments like mouth organs, or positioning your hand below your chin, or all the other activities that you do with your oral apparatus that are not included in function. But there are more important, more fundamental differences between these two different types of activities. Let's understand them in this video. The first difference between function and parafunction comes in terms of the magnitude and the duration of force that these two activities exert on a patient in 24 hours. The magnitude of force that a patient exerts during a day in chewing and swallowing are approximately 12,000 pounds and 17,000 pounds per day. But a conservative estimate of the force exerted during parafunctional activities throughout the day in any subject is around 38,000 pounds per day. Isn't that huge? The second difference is in the direction of force exerted during these two activities. During functional activities, the primary direction of force is vertical. In parafunctional activities, the primary direction of force is horizontal. Now, all of us know that our teeth and periodontal ligament are best made to take vertical forces, and the posterior especially do not take horizontal forces very effectively. The third difference is in the position of mandible during function and parafunction. Most functional activity occurs at or near the intercuspal position. The forces of functional activity are therefore taken up by many teeth or maybe all of the teeth. Most parafunctional activities usually take place in eccentric jaw position. So the patient deviates the mandible to one or the other side while performing clenching or bruxing or biting during these activities. So a higher magnitude of force of parafunction is taken up by a fewer teeth during these activities, which causes deleterious effect to the teeth as well as the supporting structures. Also understand that to go to any of the eccentric position, the condyle has to translate out to the fossa. As a result, the condyles are also maintained in an unstable position while the patient is parafunctioning. Fewer teeth in an unstable joint position take a heavier load for a longer duration of time. So, the periodontium, the teeth, the joints, the disc, everything has to bear the burden of parafunction more than that of function. The fourth difference is in terms of the type of muscle contraction. During function, the muscle contractions are rhythmic, they are cyclic. So it gives sufficient time to these muscles to get oxygenated and to metabolize the products of function. Parafunctional activities involve sustained muscle contractions for prolonged periods of time. This inhibits normal blood flow to the muscles and produces an accumulation of metabolic byproducts of sustained muscle contractions, leading to symptoms of fatigue, muscle pain. The last but the most important difference between function and parafunction is presence and absence of protective reflexes. Neuromuscular reflexes are present during functional activities, protecting the dental structures from damage. There is a constant feedback of information from the periodontal ligament, from the tongue, from the lips, from the teeth, from the cheek, controlling the magnitude, the direction, and the duration of forces during functional activities like speaking, swallowing, chewing, etc. This protects the masticatory apparatus from any sort of damage. During parafunctional activities, especially nocturnal parafunction, the neuromuscular reflexes appear to be obtunded. This allows the parafunctional activities to produce forces for a prolonged period of time in a higher magnitude that allows damage to the oral apparatus. So all of us knew why parafunctional activities are harmful for the oral apparatus, but I hope this video made it clear why. If you have any queries, just post your questions and I shall reply. This is Dr. Sanyukta signing out.